Right now at 10, parents confront the La Crosse school superintendent after he ends a portion of a referendum meeting.
And another step forward. The La Crosse committee approves the purchase of a building for an affordable housing project.
Plus, Enduring Families, a local history project, receives statewide recognition for telling the stories of La Crosse's black leaders.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Amy DuPont.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. New at 10, La Crosse Schools Superintendent Adrian Amos is facing criticism from parents who say he refuses to answer their questions about the district's upcoming referendum. News 8
Now received this video from a parent at tonight's public referendum information session. This November, voters will decide whether to approve a nearly $195 million referendum to combine Central and Logan high schools.
Superintendent Engel and staff have been holding informational meetings for weeks. Tonight, parents tell us Engel answered questions for less than 15 minutes. When he did, the crowd started shouting.
Why are you so opposed to answering our questions as an audience? That's why I came here tonight.
At this time, we've transitioned to the smaller. No, we haven't.
And the district's communications coordinator says the format of the last 5 information sessions have been the same. It includes both a large group and small group question and answer sessions.
His statement to News 8 Now reads in part, a few attendees did not want to move into small groups and began shouting over the beginning of that portion of the session. Once the brief interruption concluded, our team resumed answering questions in small groups until all remaining questions were answered and all attendees departed. You can read the full statement at news8000.com.
Also new at 10 tonight, the City of La Crosse's Financial and Personnel Committee has approved a resolution to buy a building for an affordable housing project. As News 8 Now has previously reported, the city plans to buy the Marine Credit Building on Monitor Street and renovate it into more than 30 affordable housing units.
Earlier this week, another Common Council subcommittee approved rezoning that property. The full Common Council is expected to vote on the project at its meeting next week, Thursday.
All right, time to switch it up, talk some weather, and let's send it over to First Alert meteorologist Eric Dean for a look at your forecast.
All right, good evening, everybody. Hey, it was gorgeous today. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s, very fall-like out there. Right now, we're seeing temperatures, though, in the 40s. Some places seeing temperatures in the low 40s, even upper 30s towards the Marshfield and Wausau area. 45 is the current temperature in Sparta, 45 Viroqua, 46 in La Crosse, 43 in Decorah, as well as Preston. Numbers for today made it to 59 in Sparta, 60s from Viroqua down towards Prairie du Chien, 66 in Boscobel, 58 in Rochester, 57 in Red Wing. Eau Claire, you made it to 59 degrees. So let's go ahead and help you plan out your day. We'll go ahead and start the clock and take a look here. At the 8 o'clock hour, we'll see temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. We'll go to 50 by the 2 o'clock hour and then 40s by the 8 o'clock hour. And you see we stay partly cloudy to mostly sunny throughout the day. Now, coming up in the First Alert forecast, if you think today was cool, tomorrow is going to be cooler. And we're talking temperatures, some places seeing highs in the upper 40s. Ooh. Yeah, and some places could see some frost tonight, too. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Eric.
Well, the November midterm is about a month away, and the Wisconsin Department of Justice is reminding people it's illegal to intimidate voters. In a story you will only see on News 8 Now, our Du Esrar spoke to the Attorney General, who says he is working with local law enforcement to make sure voters in La Crosse and statewide are safe.
When voters head to the polls, most want to cast their ballots and head home.
Wisconsinites should feel very comfortable going to their polling places.
As the election draws closer, Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul is warning voters about people who may try to interfere with the voting process.
Voter intimidation is the use of threats to try to interfere with somebody's ability to lawfully cast their ballot or to try to impact how they cast their ballot.
It can include verbal threats, being aggressive, and following voters around.
Something's happening out in the parking lot, someone's intimidating them out there, if they're following them to and from the polls, then you definitely want to call law enforcement, get them involved.
La Crosse County Clerk Jenny Dankmeyer says while incidents of voter intimidation are low in the Coulee region, poll workers are trained to prevent it.
Just diffuse it the best we can without, causing more disruptions or bringing attention to the matter.
AG Kaul says if voters experience voter intimidation, they should contact local law enforcement agencies.
Law enforcement agencies and prosecutors around the state have a guide right at hand that they can look to as they're determining whether there's any potential criminal activity that's happening.
Dankmeyer says voters can also notify poll workers and chief inspectors at their polling locations.
The polling places are as safe as we can make them. Poll workers are trained, the chief inspectors are trained to help diffuse situations.
She says everyone should be able to exercise their right to vote.
Like I said, around here, a lot of times people just want to go to the polls, they want to cast their ballot and they leave.
Without any fear.
Now, anyone can sign up and watch people cast their ballots. That's referred to as poll watching. But when you're being disruptive or aggressive, Call says that's when it may become a form of voter intimidation.
So at the end of October, poll workers will go through Election Day training, and that will include how to handle intimidation. The midterm election is coming up on Tuesday, November 8th.
Well, the president announced today he will pardon all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. Senior administration officials say the move would affect thousands of Americans.
There are thousands of people who are convicted for marijuana possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities as a result of that conviction. My pardon will remove this burden on them.
President Biden is also encouraging governors to pardon state simple marijuana possession charges. The move fulfills a campaign pledge to erase prior federal possession convictions and begins the process of loosening federal classification of the drug. It's currently classified as more serious than fentanyl. Marijuana remains illegal under federal law. Some states have decriminalized cannabis for recreational and medical purposes.
Several La Crosse area hiking and biking paths are going to receive money from the state. Governor Evers announced today Wisconsin will receive $35 million in federal funds to spend on transportation options for pedestrians and bicyclists. The city of La Crosse will receive roughly $5 million for 3 projects. Viroqua and West Salem will also receive about $40,000 for traffic studies and safe route to school plans.
A local project wins a statewide award for its history project. The Enduring Families Project received this year's Public Programs Award from the Wisconsin Historical Society. The project shares the stories of African American and other non-white settlers of La Crosse County. Historical Society leaders say this kind of representation is important.
When young people see their culture, their stories, their family represented in a museum or in a video that they get during history class at school, it gives them a place in society that they don't have otherwise.
You can watch all the videos on the La Crosse County Historical Society's website.
Beer and bragging rights, a combination that is usually in line with recreational softball championships, but this time both were up for grabs at a Westby nursing home.
Get ready, get set, go!
Staff at Northland Nursing Home hosted their 3rd annual Stein races. They helped residents race down a course while trying to keep as much beer as possible in their cups. It was close, but Julia and Miriam won the championship race. Staff also had some fun taking pictures.
And you got to see these. They're going to roll up. There we go. This guy, he says he cheated. And yeah, she forgot how to polka. How dare you?
But just coming full throttle. Yeah, I cheated.
If you're wondering, the residents did get to drink the beer in their cup when they were
Nice. That's the true reward right there.
None of it was wasted. Good for them.
Love it.
Coming up tonight, taken to task, a federal judge says the U.S. Postmaster General made decisions that hurt mail delivery right before the 2020 election.
And relief gone wrong. 2 Wisconsin photographers received pandemic benefits. Now the state is accusing them of fraud.
Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But are you willing to support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
Perkins burger, fries, and pie combos are back, starting at $10.99. Mix and match any of our 100% Angus beef burgers with fries and a slice of any of our pies. And don't forget to order pumpkin pies and muffins from our bakery. Order online at perkinstogo.com.
I'm a veteran. I know what it looks like to love your country, and this isn't it. Derek Van Orden was on the Capitol grounds on January 6th. He broke past the police barricades and was part of a riot that injured over 100 cops. And some of them ended up dying. Now he wants us to believe he's a patriot? Mr. Van Orden, patriots defend their country. They don't try to burn it down.
I'm Brad Paff, and I approve this message.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with the Triple Pet Pizza for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times for sexual assault and harassment. Women said they were groped and pressured to have sex with their bosses. Those who spoke out were fired. Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as governor?
We have seen stories of pandemic unemployment benefits going wrong, with people waiting months for their money. Then people who made some small application mistakes were on the hook to repay thousands.
Well, now after the special pandemic assistance programs have closed, some are battling accusations of fraud.
It's a pandemic paper trail years in the making.
I've had a pit in my stomach for the last 14 months every time I go to the mailbox.
For Madison wedding photographers Johnny and Michelle Hoffner, the trail starts in 2020 when the world shut down.
All steps are being taken.
And a year's worth of weddings were canceled or postponed.
2020 was just kind of a wipeout.
6 figures in income cut by nearly 70%.
So there were weddings where instead of it being a 12-hour package with the two of us, it's a 2-hour package with just me.
It came back in crumbs, but as far as our income or our livelihood, it was completely knocked out.
Like so many, they got help, federal loans and pandemic unemployment assistance. That's what backfired.
So right before Christmas, it's December 23rd, I just found the letter.
We were being accused of fraud and concealment.
They were seeking to recoup everything plus a 40% penalty on both of us.
At the time, it totaled more than $60,000 and kicked off a round of hearings with the Department of Workforce Development.
Levied against.
A main piece of evidence, a blog post where the Hoffners described their cutback work in 2020. The state said it's proof they were working. A reminder, PUA was supposed to help people whose work was significantly reduced.
This is what screwed us.
The DWD's own judges ended up siding with both John and Michelle. They'd made a few honest filing mistakes, but
claimant did not intend to mislead. There's no false statements or misrepresentation.
Johnny and Michelle high-fived. They were good, except
the determination issued and mailed is set aside.
The department set aside the rulings of their own internal judges. Multiple attorneys told me they aren't even sure that's allowed.
They're not, very independent, and they're supposed to be.
Attorney Victor Forberger is swamped with cases where clients are not just facing overpayment debt for filing errors, but accused of fraud along with it. He believes the shift started last fall, although the DWD denied to him that was the case.
Now it's reinvestigating all these claims and then looking to charge concealment.
For this story, the state's response was short and left basically all our questions unanswered.
The context is fraud was a huge issue for federal pandemic programs, from business loans to unemployment benefits. It's estimated that billions were stolen nationwide in cases that will take federal investigators years to track.
That kind of identity theft, yeah, that's fraudulent. No one disputes that.
But Forberger says what's now happening in Wisconsin's overpayment cases, it's different.
The claim filing problems were so difficult, people are making mistakes because they don't understand what to do and how to fill out the information.
Which leaves people like the Hoffners, who made honest mistakes, battling accusations of fraud and with it huge financial penalties.
It seems like the state would much rather have had us go out of business.
Right now, the Hoffners have no idea how much they currently owe.
There's 3 answers.
And they've been through the ringer with hearings where they didn't get the opposing evidence in advance.
Multiple pages worth. And then it's like, I have like 2 minutes to respond.
Now collection letters threaten to intercept their tax returns.
They treat you immediately like a criminal.
And the appeals go on.
That's the only way to preserve your rights. It's a real mess out there.
For News 3 Investigates, I'm Naomi Coles.
So Naomi laid out much of this in an email to the DWD to get some answers. In the past, they've shared details about these kinds of cases. This time they didn't.
Yeah, they wrote, quote, as part of its work to efficiently deliver effective services, DWD bears responsibility for preventing fraud and overpayments. And when Naomi asked for an interview to answer general questions about how the state decides what fraud to pursue, they declined. Still to come tonight, all not aboard. A massive cruise ship is facing some long delays as it tries to make its way up the Mississippi.
And in the world of weather, we have partly cloudy skies outside, and if you think today was cool, wait till you see tomorrow's high end. We'll have that in the first alert forecast coming up on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Dear night owls, when darkness falls, our stunning style takes flight, and our fuel economy is ever so wise. Trust us, Toyota sedans. Toyota, let's go places.
Long before women could vote, Wisconsin politicians wrote a law that banned abortion and jailed doctors who performed them.
The 1849 law is an exact mirror of my position.
Tim Michaels would ban abortion, even in cases of rape or incest, and send doctors to jail for performing them. It's not 1849 anymore, and while we might not have been able to vote back then, we sure can now.
Find comfort in your world in Stressless Furniture. Take a time out, have a seat, and enjoy a special offer from Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. When you purchase just 2 Stressless chairs or a sofa, you'll earn $750 towards Eckerness accessories or additional seating. With 4 seats, like a sofa and a chair, you'll earn $1,100. And with 6 seats, you'll have $1,500 to spend. Don't wait. It's time for Stressless. It's happening now at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. Voted your favorite furniture store.
Reducing prison populations is now sexy. Reducing prison populations is now sexy.
Sexy? Mandela Barnes's administration has released over 800 criminals, including 44 child rapists. That's not sexy. It's terrifying. And as a mother, I don't want Mandela Barnes anywhere near the Senate. From defunding our police to releasing predators, Mandela Barnes is a threat to Wisconsin families.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Punishing inflation, retirement savings evaporating, home values crashing, and Mandela Barnes is oblivious. Barnes just supported a massive tax increase on middle-class families and an army of IRS agents to go get every penny. Barnes also supported Biden's student loan forgiveness plan that cost every taxpayer $2,000. $2,000 less to survive on. Can you afford Mandela Barnes? Wisconsin Truth Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Dear night owls, when darkness falls, our stunning style takes flight, and our fuel economy is ever so wise. Trust us, Toyota sedans. Toyota, let's go places.
Fall Home Show going on now at the Bourne Store. Visit today and see what's new and get your $250 discount coupon. Register for prizes and visit with designers. Hope to see you soon.
A federal judge ruled the Postmaster General's changes to the Postal Service in 2022 hurt mail delivery.
Louis DeJoy, who was appointed by former President Trump, was accused of slowing down service before the 2020 election. The cities and states that filed the lawsuit here say DeJoy's actions prevented them from being able to control the spread of COVID because more people had to vote in person.
The judge stood put orders in place to prevent DeJoy from doing the same thing again. Viking Cruise Lines say its new Mississippi riverboat won't make it back to its St. Paul port. Sections of the Mississippi are closed because the drought is leading to low water levels. The boats can't pass through. All guests have been told about the delays. The Coast Guard says the low water levels are also affecting barges.
And McDonald's is bringing back a childhood favorite. Soon you can get a Halloween-themed plastic pail with your Happy Meal. The fast food giant first introduced the set in 1986. And if you want one, restaurants all over will have them on October 18th.
I kind of want one.
Honestly, I didn't really know much about the pail.
You didn't ever have the pail?
No.
So do you remember, and Eric, you're a little bit older, you might remember this, even when Happy Meals actually came in the box,
oh, yeah.
They went to the paper and then people were like, oh no, they went to the box.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
yeah, you got this and
You
then
can get
you
the
used
pail.
it.
Right, and then
Okay.
on
Used it
Halloween
on
they put
Halloween.
everything in the pail.
Yeah, they're kind of little though. You might have to take, the bucket and the pillowcase.
Right.
multiple
That's
trips.
my childhood right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Tell you what, in terms of weather right now, we have clear skies out there. Look at that temperature, 46 degrees. Feels like 42 out there. Winds are out of the north at 8 miles per hour. Our humidity is sitting at 76%. Made it to 64 after a morning start of 46. That 46 is where we should be for this time of year anyway. 22 was the record high, set back in 1935. 93 was the record low. You got to go back to 1963 to see that. So here's the radar scan. We're on the back end of a low pressure system, leading edge of a high pressure system. That's what's going to keep the winds out of the north as we go into tomorrow. Here's the front. You can easily identify it right there. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and draw it for you right there. There's your front. So you can see temperatures in the 40s in La Crosse, 38 in Fargo, 48 Omaha, double nickels in Chicago, 67 in St. Louis, Louisville, seeing a temperature of 65 degrees. So let's talk about what that means for you and me for tomorrow. So there's that 64 for today. We're going to go to 51 for tomorrow. Some places will see temperatures in the upper 40s. We go back into the upper 50s for your Saturday and then 60s for Sunday. Keep in mind our average high for this time of year is 67 degrees. So here's how we get to tomorrow. So there's your front that's going to push its way through. There's that high pressure system. We're going to be on the leading edge of it. And because of that, the winds are going to stay out of the north, which will keep us in the 40s and 50s. Some places, as we go into Friday night, early Saturday morning, may see temperatures in the upper 20s. And some places we'll see a little bit of frost, not just tonight going into tomorrow morning, but also Saturday as well. So when you wake up in the morning, there you go. Temperatures in the 30s will greet you. Upper 30s towards Eau Claire, 37 Winona, 39 La Crosse, 37 Decorah, 38 over towards Prairie du Chien, 32 in Volk Field. As we go into the afternoon hours, we see temperatures going into the 40s, 46 in Eau Claire, 47 Sparta, 46 in Viroqua. The cloud deck will start to dissipate as we go into your evening and overnight hours. By Saturday at 10 a.m., we'll see temperatures staying in the 40s, and then we go back into the 50s, upper 50s for Saturday, mid 60s for your Sunday. So here's the details of the first alert forecast for your evening and overnight hours. We'll go to 38 degrees with increasing clouds. Patchy frost not out of the question. Winds will be out of the north at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Here's a look at tomorrow's forecast. By the 8 o'clock hour, we see temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. We go to 47 by the noon hour. Then we stay in the upper 40s, low 50s throughout your mid-afternoon hours. By the time you join us at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, we'll see a temperature right around 48 degrees. Look at that wind. It stays more out of the north-northwest throughout the afternoon and evening hours, which is what's going to keep us cool. The remainder of your 8-day has temperatures going into the upper 50s for Saturday, mid-60s for Sunday. Then we go into the upper 60s, low 70s for Tuesday. And then we drop again. By Thursday, we go back into the upper 40s to low 50s. So I think fall's finally got the memo that it's here.
It's going to stick around.
Yeah, just too bad the 70s just couldn't hold on for one more day.
We've been spoiled.
Yes, we have.
Thanks, Eric.
You bet.
Coming up next in sports, lacrosse and boys soccer team in action tonight hosting Logan.
Plus, it's senior night for Holman volleyball. Vikings at home for the final time in the regular season. Rob's got the highlights and more next.
News 8 Sports is brought to you by Mayo Clinic Health System. Whether you need routine care or treatment for a complex condition, Mayo Clinic Health System has convenient and safe options for the care you and your family need.
A few years ago, I was working with a woman who was about to settle with the insurance company for a fraction of what she deserved. Instead, she hired Bygoff & Rohde, and we got her the maximum possible settlement. At Bygoff & Rohde, we get results.
We're paying more for food, gas, and rent. But Tony Evers wants to take even more of our money. He tried to raise the gas tax by 20% and double the tax on our heating bills. Evers wanted to use our tax dollars to pay people who refuse to work. And he wanted to give taxpayer-funded benefits to those who entered our country illegally. Evers even opposed drug testing for those getting welfare. We just can't afford 4 more years of Tony Evers.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
Meet Brad Paff. He never had a job outside of politics. Seriously, he hung around long enough to climb that political ladder. He'll never fix Washington. He won't even try. Me, I spent 26 years fighting for our country. I served as a Navy SEAL, and I know how to get things done. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message. Let's try something different. Let's change the people we're sending to D.C.
If someone you love has been injured, it's important to find a law firm that's fair, prompt, and reliable. That law firm is Bygoff & Rohde.
We've been Wisconsin's personal injury law firm for over 50 years.
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Mayo Health System. Here's News 8 Now's Rob Schiff.
The high school volleyball season is coming to a close, and the Vikings are playing their best ball at the right time. Holman leads the MVC with the 9-1 record in conference play. Vikings looking to make it 10-1 in their final home match of the season. Let's head to Holman High School senior night for the Vikings. They were taking on Central High School tonight. The Riverhawks coming to play early in the first. Central already up 6. Make it 7 thanks to this kill from Aaliyah Shield. Central goes up 11-4. But here comes Holman. Kendra Winker, the senior, doesn't let this shot get over the net. Vikings cut the deficit to 4, and then it's Raina McCardle to Kyla Krisnovich for the kill. Vikings come all the way back and tie it at 12, but Central not going away. Avery Vienendahl to Ava Herlitsky. That shot can't be returned. Riverhawks jump back in front, but then the Vikings start pulling away, and it's the junior Izzy Jar taking control of this one. Strong kill there. The return sails out of bounds. It's 20-15 Holman. And then check out this shot here from Krisnovich. The tip behind the back. The senior getting fancy on senior night. Holman takes the first set, 25-15. Second set, Riverhawks still battling. Ruby Gerhardt's there for the block. She's pumped up. Central up 1 early in the second, but the Vikings too strong tonight, especially Jar, the junior, slams this one home. All Holman on senior night. The Vikings win their final home match of the season, 3-0. Big win tonight for the Viterbo women's volleyball team. The V-Hawks winning a thriller at home over Dakota State in 5 sets. Viterbo now 16-6 overall, 6-0 in conference play. Let's hit the pitch in La Crescent. Lancers hosting Logan tonight in the first. Solomon Zemansky gets a big leg on it. He bounces it in. Rangers jump in front, 1-0. But the Lancers, they answer back. It's Brady Grupa. Nice placement on this kick here. He finds the back of the net. We're tied at 1 at the break. Second half, La Crescent takes the lead thanks to this shot from Wyatt Farrell. But with just over a minute left, Gabriel Weber ties it for the Rangers. That's how this one ends. La Crescent and Logan finish in a 2-2 tie. Well, in exactly 2 weeks from tonight, the wait will be over. The Bucks will tip off the regular season in Philly Thursday, October 20th. But until then, Milwaukee getting ready for the season today over in Abu Dhabi. Second preseason game of the year for the Bucks. They were taking on the Hawks early this morning. In the second, Giannis being Giannis with the flush. Nice pass from Drew Holiday there. Then later in the second, Grayson Allen, the drive. He kicks it to Bobby. He's back with the Bucks. Portis knocks down the 3. That ties the game at 40. This is a good sign for the Bucks. Javon Carter was feeling it from behind the arc. 5 of 6 from 3. 17 points for Carter off the bench. Then it's Giannis going back to work. Strong drive, the scoop, score off the window. A team-high 19 for Giannis in this one. Second half now, Holiday working the post. Nice moves here from Drew. He goes up strong, gets it to go. 12 points on the night for Holiday. And Bucks fans are going to love this. Serge Ibaka, strong performance off the bench. 15 points, including this and 1. Bucks fall in this one, 123-113. But a big night for the Stars and a couple of strong performances off the bench from Ibaka and Carter. The Packers holding their final practice on Thursday before the team heads to London for their game against the Giants this Sunday. Some good news on the injury front for Green Bay. Safety Adrian Amos practicing today for the first time this week after being in concussion protocol. Jair Alexander, also a full participant on Thursday. The corner had been limited all week because of a groin injury, but seems to be all right. Aaron Rodgers is pumped for the flight, and so is the rest of the team.
You definitely looking on the bright side of it. It's an awesome opportunity to, expand the game of football, play in front of a whole new group of fans and stuff like that, and also just kind of have an adventure as a team. So I think it's a really cool opportunity.
There's Packer fans all over the world, so I'm sure I will see some cheeseheads out there. So that's always exciting because, no matter where we go, it's a chance that it's a home game for us.
I mean, that's really cool. You go to another country and you still know that you're going to see thousands of Packers fans over there.
Yeah.
There's a Milwaukee TV crew, an old coworker of mine. He's and 2 old coworkers of mine. They are there. You should see they're planning a game. They printed off some of Wisconsin's hardest pronounced cities if you're not from Wisconsin. So they're going to go around and ask people.
Awesome.
So,
I'm sure the Brits will do very well.
Yeah, like Ashwaubenon. Yeah, there's some really fun ones. Aaron Rodgers' name is in there.
Okay.
That's a pretty easy
They'll get
one
one for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, thanks
we'll be right back.
You got it.
This Saturday through Tuesday only, you'll get our best discounts of the whole year. Everyone gets an extra 33% off our already low Slumberland prices. October 8th through 11th, shop our wide range of mattresses and furniture, only at Slumberland Furniture.
Mandela Barnes is spreading a lot more than just peanut butter. Barnes didn't pay thousands in property taxes on his Milwaukee condo, bought with family money. While not paying property taxes, Barnes bought a second condo, went to Vegas, even sat courtside for a Bucks game. Asked about his unpaid taxes, Barnes said,
It's Juneteenth. Y'all, hey, it's Juneteenth. They want to talk about property tax.
Now Barnes wants to talk about peanut butter. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Perkins burger, fries, and pie combos are back, starting at just $10.99. Mix and match any of our 100% Angus beef burgers, like our barbecue Tangler burger, breakfast burger, and the all-new Smokehouse Bacon Double Cheeseburger. Served with crispy fries and a slice of any of our famous Perkins pies. And don't forget to order seasonal treats from our bakery, like our fresh-baked pumpkin pies and muffins. Order online at perkinstogo.com.
The weekend to-do list. It's a lot easier with the help of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Attachments connect with ease, so you can knock out every task on your list. Whether you're moving earth, leveling a path, or mowing and mulching, one thing you're not doing is wrestling with the attachments. So you actually have time to enjoy your space and work on planning the next big project. John Deere 1 Series compact tractors. Versatile, easy, and affordable. Find yours at Tractor Central.
It's a John Deere day.
I'm Tim Michaels, and I know a thing or two about construction. But sometimes, before you start building, you have to tear things down. That's why I'll dump Beaver's job-killing agenda. Totally demolish the woke liberals' anti-police agenda. And hammer Madison's special interest. I'm Tim Michaels. I'm a businessman, not a politician. Tony Evers and his liberal friends have made an absolute mess of Wisconsin. We've got a blueprint to rebuild. But first, we need to do a little demolition.
This Saturday through Tuesday only, you'll get our best discounts of the whole year. Everyone gets an extra 33% off our already low Slumberland prices. October 8th through 11th, shop our wide range of mattresses and furniture, only at Slumberland Furniture.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now, our community, your station.
It is spooky season, a time for tall tales that make you scream.
The Bluff Country Tale Spinners and the La Crosse Storytelling Festival Group inviting Halloween fans to scary stories on a spooky night. It's happening Saturday evening.
The stories are geared towards an older audience. However, organizers say younger kids can come if they dare. The audience will experience a variety of tales.
Good stories, mostly some folk tales, some legend kinds of stories. There are two of our tellers that make up their own stories, so they're original stories, and one is a true story based on something that happened in Wisconsin.
That'll be the scariest.
For sure, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Doors open at 7. Tickets are $15. You can buy them online or call in the Pump House. We'll have the information on our website, news8000.com.
Are you gonna go? You gonna toughen up and go?
Nope, I'm gonna stay a wimp, and everybody else can enjoy and just let me know how it was.
All right, we'll be back with a final check of your forecast.
Minwax has a challenge for you. Open a yellow can and keep on finishing. Keep on finishing this and this. Oh, and in here. That looks good. With Minwax, you can keep on finishing this and these.
What do you think?
Love it. And I love this too. And now at Menards, get 11% off all Minwax stains so you can create the custom looks you need to keep on finishing. Get it at Menards.
There's no other place where my story is possible. My mom was a teacher. My dad worked third shift. It was our ticket to the middle class. That's the promise of America I'll fight to protect. While others send our jobs overseas, I'll bring manufacturing back, invest in our own workers, and stock our shelves with American products. And with a middle class tax cut, you'll be able to keep more of what you earn. I know the promise of America, and no one will fight harder to protect it. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Transportation, food supply, everything is going carbon-free. At Excel Energy, we see it too. Eco-friendly car washes, carbon-free search engines, and all that clean energy needs clean energy. The same reliable, more affordable energy that powers your home. This is how the future is made.
Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times for sexual assault and harassment in the workplace. But he says
people love working at Michaels.
Women said they were groped, assaulted, and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
We have a great work culture.
Higher-ups called the women liars and fired those who spoke out. So when he says this,
we have a great work culture,
know that the culture comes from the top.
It says here, United Healthcare has America's most chosen Medicare plans and local Medicare plan experts.
They'll even find you a plan with good dental coverage.
How do you know?
Maggie, my local Medicare plan expert. She helped me find the right plan.
With benefits including prescription drug, vision, and dental coverage, our Wisconsin team is ready to help you find a Medicare plan that meets your needs and budget.
Talk to a local Medicare plan expert today at 1-888-SHOP-UHC.
All right, here's a look at your forecast for tomorrow. Upper 30s, low 40s will greet you by the 8 o'clock hour. We're only going into the upper 40s, low 50s on the high end. So definitely bundle up tomorrow and make sure you go out and start the car for a few minutes.
Bundle up, relatively speaking.
Right, sweater.
Have a good night.